Hey everybody, welcome to the Poet Life Live radio show. I am Lucky and I'm here to explore and evaluate the depths of our culture in order to enlighten the people. Tonight, as you can see, we've got some new faces in the building. The Poetic Rock Star is definitely out of commission and sick. Place him on your sick and shut-in list. He's going to need all the prayers he can get. So to the right of me is the very dope, my little sister, the Ransom.
Hey guys.
A little further in the mic.
Hey guys.
and tonight our guest is the homie FlowSpazm Judah.
Yo, what's up?
So how's everybody's week?
Blessed.
Pretty good so
Blessed, definitely blessed.
Well, I'm glad that the two of you are here. First off, I want to shout out London Dior, the DMV rapper that died in a car accident. We want to send our prayers and our condolences to her friends and family. It was really crazy reading about the story on Twitter, and I'm really sorry to hear that she's gone. So to start the show off, I was just wondering if you'd like to sprinkle some flames on the mic. You know, tell us about what you're going to speak about tonight.
So I'm gonna do this piece called Conscious Life. Conscious Life is actually a piece that just pretty much speaks to my people, telling them to just stay aware of everything that's going on. Pretty much telling people to stay woke in a sense.
Right.
So this is Conscious Life. Are we conscious in this life? It seems we became the walking dead, more like aliens, and the man became the predator. And we pay homage so much that we work to collect these dead presidents, except for Benji. But let me keep it 100. It seems we ignore the signs and we became deaf to the language. But we don't have to be deaf to understand sign language. See, the signs are given, but we give into lies, and truth becomes Rosetta Stone. And truth becomes Rosetta Stone because lies became the common language. So we become like Rosetta and get stoned with lies because we can't understand the truth. And see, the mind is a powerful tool, and he that wastes it is a fool. You know, I get tired of the government. They just want to government. They just added a T at the end. I get tired of these corny reality shows corrupting the minds of our youth and destroying our future. We lost our places as kings and queens, so we settle for empire and become like high king. There's too many Fetty Watts trapping our queens, promise him a king if they work for these diamonds. I wonder if that's why they built in Florida a king of diamonds. I mean, there's too many Johns running to walls with cops in Washington serving bullets. This ain't no shout out to the Wizards, but it's time for us Bradleys to build and get the marching like we go top. Because when we get out our lanes like Tory, they're gonna hate us. They're gonna hate it when we do it, but they're gonna hate it when we say it. But matter of fact, they're gonna hate it more when we actually do it. They don't want us to be the warrior in this Golden State because they fear the day that we rise like a phoenix, son. I mean, there's too many Kevins with no heart, so we put our souls on planes to get to the top. We don't want to take L's, but it's cool to smoke a J and be in the house. I mean, LL Cool J in the house. I mean, are we conscious? Why live backwards to survive in this evil world? I mean, we looking for commas in the wrong places until life ends with a period, and we stuck with that life sentence. It's too many verbs, it's too many, we doing a lot of verbing to get these nouns so our life can become adjectives, and the word becomes our conjunction. We think life is a run-on until our body paragraph goes into a conclusion. So in conclusion, we can't be unconscious in this conscious life. So that's that piece right there.
Where did that come from?
So it actually came from just like my walking life called Judah. The conscious life pieces actually have been like a favorite, and actually it originated from Hosea 4:6. So in Hosea 4:6, it talks about how our people are destroyed from the lack of knowledge.
Right.
Not, because we reject it, not because we don't know.
Yeah.
It's because we do know, but we'd
reject. Rather not know.
Right. It's like we know, but we just choose not to,
accept what the truth is.
Yeah, basically. So, and also it, comes from 2 Chronicles 7:16, which talks about if my people which I call by my name will humble themselves and pray, seek my face, then, I will heal their land. So that's pretty much where that whole, piece came from. Most of the stuff, I write, when it comes to conscious and mental pieces come from, the word itself. So, I like to be inspired by Yah, to write my pieces to, to touch the people.
That makes a lot of sense. So talking about your walk with Christ, your life and things like that, what would be your definition, and this is for the both of you, what would be your definition of the poet life?
The poet life?
Yes.
I mean, my definition of poet life is, in my world, just be like, I'm able to I'm able to show my walk through words.
Right.
So God was a poet himself. You know
I
what I'm
believe
saying?
that
So
with
you
my whole
have
heart.
Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon, all that. So it's like when you think of poet, when you think of poetry, you think of words. You know what I'm saying? It's just a form of art. So I'm able to live my life by expressing, art, my words. So,
That makes a lot of sense. So, Ransom, what would be your definition of your poet life?
My definition of poet life for me would be a journey, but not my journey. It would be other people's journey, because I see poetry as speaking for those who can't speak for themselves.
Right.
Speaking on issues that other people can't speak on. So I guess visiting everyone else's journey and helping them get through it.
That makes a lot of sense. Me personally, I feel like the poet life is getting to know yourself intimately. Like parts of yourself that you'd never talk about on a random basis, or you would never want people to know that you get to know. Like your journey to Judah wasn't something you were into before poetry came along. So I feel like, or when it came to that piece you let me hear a few days ago about domestic violence, you haven't physically been in that situation, but getting to know someone in that situation and intimately view those things and tell people about them. That's how I feel about the poet life. I feel like it's just a way to look in yourself and give it away to people in a nice, like, masterful way. So next question, which is gonna stump you and it's totally off topic: if your life was a movie, what would you call it and why?
Shoot, if my life was a movie, I would call it Journey to Judah.
Of course.
That's easy.
Why? That was kind of easy, but why though? Why would it be specifically the journey to Judah?
Because just the journey of my life was, my life, was a journey. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you step into this world and you come out your mother's womb, that's just, each year, every year is a journey.
It's a new step.
It's a new step. It's a new level. It's a new learning, a new understanding in life. Like, you learn something new every year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My thing is, if you're not learning something new every year, then you're not really progressing.
You're not living. And my grandma says that all the time. She'll always be like, you have to learn all the time. And if you're not learning, you're not living.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, with all that being said, you are the first of 4 children?
Yeah, I am.
So how do you deal with being the oldest, with all of that responsibility and trying to have a journey of your own?
It's a big responsibility, being the oldest son, and because you have, when you're the oldest son, you have to watch out for. Because I got 2 sisters,
yes,
and I got a little brother. So when I look at it, I do have an older brother too.
Yeah.
And but when you look at it, my little brother looks after me.
Yeah.
So I have to set certain examples for him. I have to carry myself in a way so that if there are things that he needs help with,
right,
or because I can say, yeah, I've been through that, I did that, so I can better train them, because having brothers and sisters, sometimes they don't like listening to their mom and dad.
Oh
so
my
they're
gosh.
like, they're like, bro, help me out with this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
so,
mom and dad don't understand, and I know you'll get it
yeah,
because we're super close in age.
Exactly. So, and then just having 2 sisters, I'm in protective mode. So it's like,
of course,
as you should be. I have to, be there for them, when they go through those phases of liking boys, or how they should feel about themselves and all that stuff. So it's like, I have to be. It's a lot of pressure,
right?
Because you still trying to be right for yourself.
Yeah.
But you do the best you can to look after the younger ones.
Okay, so I have a question. All right, so in life, we have our trials and tribulations that we go through. Now, I want to know how you use your trials to motivate your poetry.
My trials was pretty much how it motivates my poetry. It was my stress reliever. So everything like professionally performing, everything I've been through, it has only been like 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Just doing this professionally. What? Growing up, all I did was write. Went through everything that I went through, and I wrote. And that was pretty much like my stress ball. So everything that I've been through, I wrote it down.
Yeah.
And being where I'm at now, I'm able to form it in a way where it fits me and I'm comfortable with saying it
in front of people.
Yeah, without really being raw with it and just saying like, yeah.
I
be
get
like
it.
Real cool with it.
Yeah, so you be real smooth. You know what I'm saying?
Smooth, you know what I'm saying?
So how'd you get into writing? Like where did that idea come from?
Writing, I mean, cause I've grown. I was shy. You know what I'm saying? I was real shy. And the Poetic Rock Star DJ, my brother.
Shout out to the homie.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And he'll tell you like, I mean, between me and him,
yeah.
Like when we used to go to the malls and stuff, he had to be the one to make the moves, and I just had to go in with him. You know what I'm saying?
That's so crazy.
But writing was always my form of communication.
Right.
So it was easy, talking to my parents, about stuff. But I got into it because that was like my only form, to talking to females. So it's like if I liked the female, I wrote it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, after a while, when I discovered what poetry is, and it wasn't just about rhyming, saying roses are red, violets are blue,
right?
Stuff like that.
Right.
You could really just write it
in
your own, fashion. That's pretty much like I got into it, because it was just my form of art. Because I used to draw when I was little, but then I stopped. But I felt like if I would kept going with it,
you would probably be real good at it right now.
Yeah. I would have been nice with it.
So what are some of the other topics? Because you said you started it and it kind of helped you talk to the ladies when you were in school. So now that you've been professionally performing for 2 years, what are some of the topics you cover in your art now versus when you did before?
So back then, it was all relationships and lovey stuff because, as a kid,
that's all you're worried about when you first start making words rhyme.
You know what I'm saying? But
to keep it a buck.
Yeah.
Like that's all you're worried about when you first get out there.
But I actually what changed my whole, expansion of topics was my older brother. So I have an older brother named Wilson, and he was a rapper. I used to listen to all his stuff when I was a kid, or when I was a teenager. And he used to talk about, what's going on in the hip hop industry, what's going on in the world, you know what I'm saying? Like he was so smart, you know what I'm saying? Like, and still is, And when I need advice on anything, like he's the guy to go to, you know what I'm saying?
That's amazing.
He pretty, listening to him, pretty much challenged me, cause he got me hip to like a lot of the conscious artists. So like the apps, so the Kendrick Lamar, the Joey Badass, and all the underground conscious artists. You know what I'm saying? So it's just listen to him and then listen to that form of music. I was like, when I found out that this was like educating me, I was like, well, let me educate the people. So when I got into writing conscious pieces and political pieces and just pieces that really, challenge your mind, it was just a goal of trying to educate more so than, trying to be tight and
and just trying to put some words together that sound cool.
And say things that sound cool but don't know what it means. I had to do a lot of studying and research. So
that's what's up. That's what's up. I feel like that's important too when it comes to writing and performing and stuff. Like you can't just be out here just saying a bunch of words because they sound really good. And I feel like we've been given this big platform to use it for a reason. So what are some of the ways you're using your platform and your message, and what I'm saying, what are some of those things look like for you?
Well, I use my platform basically, like I said before, to speak for those who can't speak for themselves.
Right.
So that domestic violence piece I told you about, there are so many people that I know, so many people I don't know that are going through these things, and you would never know.
Yeah.
That's not a topic that you just talk about at the beauty supply store, getting your nails done. Like, that's not something that we talk about.
It's super taboo.
Yeah.
It's super taboo. And to have gone through that situation personally, whenever I do that particular piece in public, I'll always meet women and they'll always, you know, come and tell me about their stories and things like that. And it saddens me because I'm like, there's so many other topics just like this that we don't talk about in enough, period. We don't talk about them enough. And so what are some of those topics that you bring up in your poetry that are super taboo or that we don't talk about enough, and how do you use those topics to educate?
So, I mean, I feel like we don't talk enough about, like, our history. Like,
I
who
agree.
we are.
Yeah.
I think we kind of sugarcoat it, and we, like, pick a certain season to do it, but we don't do it enough to where it really sticks with us.
Right.
So it's like the only time, it just seems like, you know, the only time it's good to talk about history is February.
Yes,
You know
they
what
love
I'm
to
saying?
overload with the Black History facts for
Yep.
those 28 to 29 days, and they only tell the kids in school about it in February, and it's not printed anywhere else, and you got to go through all of this extra stuff to find the information because it isn't in the books.
Exactly, but after February, you don't hear nothing else about it.
You never hear
Nothing
anything
else
about it until like something dramatic's happening in our community where
Right.
somebody is dying or has died, or when the girls were missing in DC, then it was like, well, there's all of these women doing all of these other great things, so let's bring our
Right.
girls back.
Right.
And I'm like, this isn't the time to be talking about this. This is the time to be banding together and things like that. And so, are you in the community right now? Like, how are you using your journey to Judah to outreach to not just your little brothers and sisters, which is amazing because I know y'all read the word every Saturday.
Every Saturday.
We're going to talk about
Sabbath.
that because that is amazing. Nobody's family does that. And I remember seeing it on your IG. You guys were sitting at the table. How is that for you?
Well, just
Like being able to have those moments with your family where you guys just get up and read and connect through the word. Like, how does that feel for you?
I mean, as far as, you know, I think it's just a beautiful thing. I think it's like a great positive thing because it's not a lot of families that really do that. You know what I'm saying? To come together on the Sabbath, you know, the Father's Day, and to be able to, you know, take in His wisdom, His knowledge, and then being able to sit at the table as a family to get an understanding on what He gives us. I mean, it's just that, you know, because when we sit at the table, like we're all involved.
Right.
So we're all asking questions. We're all learning something new. It'll be days where, you know, I'm teaching. It'll be days where my dad's teaching.
Right.
Or, you know, it'll be days where my little brother is sharing things that he discovered and he read. So it's just that we as a family can be open and just honest and be able to have that moment. It's just, you know, I mean, the Father appreciates that. I mean, that's how He set it up, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, everything starts at home. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
very true.
if you know, a great, you know, you see the benefits of a great household.
That is very true. That's very true. And a lot of people will always bring up households as you've got to have a mom and a dad in order for your household to be great. And I love that your parents are still together and that you and your brothers and sisters live in a very, you know what I'm saying, real close-knit, and y'all read the word together every Saturday. But everybody's family isn't like that.
Right.
I know in my household personally, it's my dad and me and my brothers and my grandmother. But the effects of having that kind of family around you in a big support system is serious. So how does the support system that you have personally affect you and your poetry?
Well, I have, in my household, I have my father, my stepmother, and my grandmother and little brother. I have a 3-year-old brother, 3 going on 30.
Hey, Tink.
Hey, Tink. And it's just, it started off just me and my dad, of course.
Yeah.
And that is my rock. So that's all the support.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
Best
friend. Yeah. that's you know, all the support, and then comes my grandmother, and you know, that's mom. So you know.
Yeah, grandmas are everything in the family, and a lot of families don't have like a big mama or or the matriarch of the family anymore. So I thank God for my grandma, because I'm like, girl, I don't know what I would do without you. I don't know
And
where
they
I
push
would
you.
be. Yeah, they
They
push
push you. Each person pushes you in a different direction, in a different way.
Everybody has
you know?
their own way of getting you to that next level of your life. So speaking of next levels, let's rewind a little bit. Before your journey to Judah, what was life like when you were just Chris?
Life was just Chris was just still trying to figure out life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I've been through the phases where I used to have a job. You know what I'm saying? I used to work at Macy's.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I used to work at the warehouses, and I was still trying to figure out life. Like I was, because at first I had a passion for playing basketball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Which he's really good at, by the way. I talk a lot of trash about your skills, but he's really good at it.
Yeah, if y'all want to know how Steph Curry shoot, you know what I'm saying?
You know what?
All right, we're not going to go that far, but we don't want to lie to the people.
Hey, I got the videotape. It's on. But nah, I mean, I used to love playing basketball, and then I had got into golf, and I was a sports fanatic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I saw me like being somewhere in the sports field. You know what I'm saying? Because I did play football. Only sports I didn't play was baseball and soccer. I did run track.
You probably would have been pretty good at baseball too.
Probably soccer. But I mean, I don't know. But I was still trying to figure out life, and graduated school with a great GPA and all that stuff. And
right.
I did my years at Anne Arundel, so to focus on the photography side, because I do photography too.
Right.
So,
he's a jack of all trades, is what he's trying to say.
I need a photographer, hit me up.
You can follow him.
Graduations.
Right. Baby showers, weddings, all that stuff.
Exactly. But nah, yeah. So I was still like juggling with a lot of things, and when you juggle with not knowing what you really want to do or what you're really called to do,
right,
it becomes very stressful. So being at 9-to-5 jobs, it was cool. It got to a point where I was so stressed that I got comfortable with just that every consistent check.
Yeah,
that check
like it really doesn't matter how much stress or how much you don't like going in there.
I know
paycheck,
next Friday,
right? That paycheck will keep you going in every day.
So when you and the thing is that when you find yourself comfortable like that, where you're consistently getting the same check every Friday, you tend to fade away from wanting to know what your talent is.
Right.
You don't really have the drive to push for what you're supposed to do. You don't want to work for it.
Because you're comfortable.
Yeah, you're comfortable, and that's the thing. People just think money and I'm good, and that's that's never been the answer.
It never will be. It never will be. I don't feel like collecting a whole bunch of money, which we will get into very later in the interview, because let's be clear. Let's be clear. We can't do the whole poetry thing for free.
Hey now. Hey now.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that, but I would like to direct the question to you. How was life before the ransom? What was that like for you?
Life before the ransom. Very confusing.
Definitely before the monks,
way before
all
the
that.
monks,
Like, what was like your
that.
freshman in college?
Very confusing. I can honestly say, oh God, freshman college, I didn't know what I was doing, where I was going, who I was, what color my hair was going to be today. It was just
you're from here, and then you moved to North Carolina to go to school.
So it was kind of it was definitely a culture shock. One, it's very fast paced here, it's very slow paced over there. Then two, you have to find your identity.
Yeah.
And that's kind of hard to do in college as a freshman.
It's kind of hard to do, period.
Yeah.
Without the right tools, it's so hard to figure out who you are, where you want to go, and the things, that you actually want to do with your life when you don't have the right tools or the right people around
to help guide you.
So, post being a poet, right now you're poeting, you're performing places and things like that. So, Judah, right? Would you go back? Would you go back to that 9 to 5 and that consistent paycheck?
Nah, I wouldn't. Rockstar said he got a question.
He got a question? What's the question? We want to know. He's trying to chime in, guys, because he is sick and laying on his couch, and we are ready for his question. whenever he's ready.
Yeah,
But
so
would you go back, though?
I wouldn't go back because I remember there were times where I did escape. And then when I found myself really having to work, because before I heavily got into poetry, it was photography. So, you know, when there was times where I did just say, all right, I'm tired, it's 9 to 5, let me push for my photography.
Right.
And I really had to work, and then there came a time where things got slow. You know what I'm saying? Then I found myself back at another 9 to 5. Then I got comfortable again. I'm like, man, I mean, it was to the point where, you know, I'm setting up a plan, you know, just to be cooling with 9 to 5. And so it's just, all I can say is like a 9 to 5 is just like a treasure chest for talents. And it's just, I couldn't put my talent in that treasure chest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I feel like, because before I became a poet, and I've only been doing it for a year now, but before I became a poet, I was a teacher, I danced, I volunteered at a homeless shelter, I was doing a whole bunch of stuff, and I was like nannying and doing hair, and like homeschooling and tutoring and all this other stuff. And I was just like, look, I got my hand in too many pots and I need to like hone in and I felt like I was dealing with a lot of emotional stress from a lot of other things. So poetry definitely, as Judah said, was definitely a stress reliever, and it was a way to get a lot of feelings out that I didn't even know that I had. And so post being a poet, to you two, would you go back to whatever it was you were doing prior to?
No, I would not go back, simply because this journey has made me a different woman, and I quite frankly love the woman I'm becoming. I'm learning myself, and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Sidebar, I'm enjoying it because, you know what I'm saying, you're my little sister, and I love you to death. So
I love you to pieces.
Yeah. So Rockstar's definitely got a question. What is it?
So Rockstar asked me if I could choose between a full-time career in basketball or poetry, which one would it be?
Oh, I want to know. I want to know, and I want to know why.
That's really a hard question.
Uh-oh.
The only reason why I say that is because I really did used to love basketball. I really had like a passion for one day making it to the NBA to play Kobe Bryant, who was my favorite player of all time, diehard Laker fan too. So, and then seeing where I'm at with my poetry, being able to help and benefit people.
Yeah.
And with my words and passion, because I used to do motivational speaking. You know, that's why I've been able to be comfortable on stages and perform and stuff like that, because I used to do motivational speaking, you know, in my high school years. But honestly, this would probably be the only question I would ever say I don't know.
Because it's just too hard to answer.
Yeah. Because it's a passion for both. Like, if I was able to do both, I would. You know what I'm saying? And Lord willing, if I'm still able to ball now, I would too. But you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I really would.
All right, real rock star, you got your answer. He has no idea because he really likes to do both things. So he's trying to do both things at the same time. So anybody trying to get him on your AAU team?
Oh no, that's definitely high school.
You gotta start somewhere. You can't just go out there thinking you just gonna be in the NBA. How that gonna happen?
Baby steps.
Speaking of the NBA,
overseas, you got.
That's very true. I'm sorry. I didn't have to do that to him. I apologize. Speaking of the NBA, can I please just send my condolences to the Wizards? Because when we won Game 6, I was so happy. I cried and everything. I was so excited.
Definitely a great series.
It was a beautiful series, but we just didn't make it all the way. And I wanted Wizards Warriors to go to the end. So now
the reason why I wanted that was because I wanted Kevin Durant to play us.
If we beat them, and then he just feels bad for not coming home, then he would just have to suck up the pay cut and come back. He would just have to get over it. But now that that's just never gonna happen, who you got going all the way? I gotta know.
So I mean, realistically
Oh, yeah,
speaking,
you can take
you
that
know,
bottle of water now.
we know it's going to be Cavs and Warriors, so
Oh.
I just want it to be a great finals. You know what I'm saying? I don't really care
Yeah.
who wins. Like I said, I'm a diehard Lakers, so until my Lakers get back in the picture, I don't
Nothing
really care.
else
Yeah,
matters.
nothing
Nothing matters. All right, so we were talking about, before we went on that whole basketball tangent, because that was very important. I want everyone to know.
It's very near
But
and dear.
we were talking about your journey as an artist and then your passion for all of these things outside of artistry in your life. So my question to the both of you, which I'll direct to you first, is what is your definition of a successful artist?
Definition of a successful artist?
Yes.
I would say my definition, if I were to be a successful artist, that I was able to leave like a legacy. I was able to leave a message. I was able to leave the people with something that they can have for generations and generations. I mean, it's like I told you, like, you know, to me, it's not about how much money I got.
Yeah.
You know, or how many cars, houses, and all this other stuff.
Right.
I mean, blessings are blessings. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what I achieved to look for. You know, my thing is that, you know, I want to leave an impact, you know, on the culture with, you know, with our people. That's give them a message that they can tell their kids, and the kids tell their kids, and it goes
really
on for
important.
all. You know what I'm saying? Where I can be played repetitiously. You know.
That's very important. Same question to you. Sidebar, everybody, you're getting a 2-for-1 interview today. Just throw that out there. All right, same question.
Two things define success or a successful artist for me. One would be my happiness. Because whatever I do, I want to make sure I am elated.
That is very
I
fun
wanna
because it
wake
doesn't
up
feel like work when
happy.
you're having fun.
It doesn't. I don't want to wake up and like, oh God. You know?
Yeah.
The second thing would be how many people I impacted. Because I want to at least have maybe a good million. You know, saying, well, yeah, at such and such age, I went through this and I met Ransom and, you know, she impacted me in X, Y, and Z such of a way. You know, and that means a lot.
Yeah, and I feel like it's a lot of poets I know like that already, like Orville or Kariga Bailey. Shout out to the two of those amazing people. But I remember when I first met both of them, like individually, and I still tell Kariga every time I see him, you saved my life. Yeah. Like if it wasn't for me meeting you when I was in that dark place, I don't know where I'd be, to be quite honest. Like it wasn't enough poetry that was going to save me from where I was in that place. And so hearing the two of you talk about, you know, leaving a legacy and wanting to impact those around you is very, very important because, as we said earlier, we've been given this platform, and it's not about, you know, roses are red, violets are blue. It's more so, you know what I'm saying, like what message are we pushing to the people around us. And so the second question, follow-up, how close to that dream of success do you feel like you are?
I mean, I know I'm making progress and I'm making steps, and you know, I never, you know, I don't, you know, dismiss what I've done already. You know, I've been able to speak at high schools and elementary schools, and been able to speak to youth, and so, and you know, I've been having, you know, youth, you know, to come talk to me after, and like, you know, you did a good job, you know, you really helped me with this, you really helped me with that. My thing is, you know, the more messages I get where somebody's saying, you know, your music, your message did this to me, it helped me with this and with that, you know, I've always felt like, you know, I'm always getting closer and closer and closer. So, I mean, even if it's just like, if I go to a show with 200 and I only touch 20, you know what I'm saying? That's still a successful show.
That's still,
Right. Okay, so let's rewind and backtrack. I want to know, where did the name Judah come from? That's what I want to know.
Judah!
So, name Judah came from my tribe. So, Journey to Judah pretty much is pretty much my journey from, you know, Chris to knowing who I really am, to knowing that I'm an Israelite. which is spoken of in the Bible. So in the Bible, it talks. There's 12 nations in Israel. So Judah, because my father, he's black. That's the tribe of Judah. So coming into that knowledge, coming into that truth of being an Israelite, I just added Judah to the end of my name. Like if I could legally,
change your name to Judah,
that would be
yeah,
it.
So the real question is,
I could do it.
you definitely
Technically,
could, because
you
all
can.
you gotta do is pay a little bag, get a new birth certificate and social security card.
Yeah.
That definitely can happen. So, when we gonna drop the FlowSpazm and when is it just gonna be Judah? No pressure, but
No pressure.
no pressure. But I'm just saying.
I don't know because FlowSpazm was it's Judah. I kind of make FlowSpazm like my first name.
Ooh.
And Judah like my last name. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's just
Sauce.
so
Right.
it's like Judah as one whole name. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of
It's just not you.
Yeah. So it depends. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
Yeah.
That's a talk I gotta have with the Most High and see if that's where He takes me. But
Right.
FlowSpazm is like my first name. Judah is like my last. I tell people that like, what's your name? FlowSpazm. Judah.
I know.
In that order.
And I find that so funny because whenever I go out places where it's not really like a poetry event, like church or something, and they're like, "Oh, I see you all the time. What's your name?" And I go, "Lucky," and I'm like, that's my name. Like,
But
that's
it's
what
not
everybody
mine.
calls me, and it's my middle name too. But I have a whole real first name,
Yeah.
and I never use it now, and it feels really weird saying it to people. But I totally get that. So we were talking. Well, you had mentioned that you do speak to the youth. You go out to elementary schools and high schools and things like that, sharing your message. How do you deal with the responsibility of mentorship outside of your brothers and sisters?
I just make my job is just to reach in mentoring kids of that age outside my brothers and sisters, just to make sure that they take the steps that the Father wants them to take.
Right.
Because it's my job to tell them who they are and have them research or go study and and figure out the walk that they're supposed to have in life, because the Father, He put us all on earth for a purpose.
Right.
So it's just that when you're not able to tell somebody or that young man or that young woman that that the Father has a plan, a purpose for you, and you should go find them, figure out what it is. It's just heartbreaking because you see a lot of the youth today, like on the streets and on World Star.
And I was definitely gonna get into that.
Yeah, you see them. You see all these fighting videos.
Yes, and they're so quick to like repost those kinds of things.
Right. And
But
that's
they won't
because
stop
it's
it.
no.
But
it's
yeah,
no,
nobody's getting in between those things to cease it.
Because they're not given a direction. They're not told who they really are. They're not told that they're the kings and the queens of the earth, and that they're supposed to live up to the standard of what the Father wants them to live up to. And when they're not being told that, and then that's why I said like a lot of things start at home.
Yeah.
We don't all know what's going on in everybody's household.
Very
so
true.
Not everybody.
And so it's really hard to judge when you don't know what's going on. And I also feel like it's super hard for people to say, oh, the youth is this and the youth is that, but you're not giving them anything else to
Exactly.
do. All you're doing is criticizing, and that's not helping anybody.
That's the thing. We're not supposed to be so quick to judge them and just give up on them. No, we're supposed to build them. We're supposed to let them know who they are, tell them who they are, tell them, that they're called for a greater purpose in life.
Right.
Because, like I said, when I go to when I did Oxon Hill graduation, I think it was 2015.
Congratulations on that, but go ahead.
Yeah, and I did a poem called Dreams, which pretty much is a motivational piece, telling them go after their dreams and all that extraness.
No pressure to close the show out with that poem, but hey, if
No
you
pressure.
I think about it.
Pressure at it.
But I feel like that's a really good thing for us not being that much older than them. to tell them that, you know, I see you, I hear you, I understand the things that you're going through, and I'm not here to criticize, I'm here to help. So how do you, so how do you deal with those kids that don't want to listen? Because not all of the children that are in there are quick to be like, I understand God and his purpose for me, or I'm open to understanding God and his purpose for me. So how do you deal with the no's?
So, I mean, 10 times out of 10, the reason why most of them will probably don't want to hear or want to say no is because they just feel like we wouldn't understand. It's like people who go through that stage in life where they feel like they're going through a lot, where they feel like their situation is bigger than that. Like, you don't know my life, you don't know what I go through.
You don't know my struggle.
Yeah, you don't know my struggle, and it's like, it's you got to come to a understanding with that. I mean, the thing is, I don't give up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll fight until my last breath, and even if I get to my last breath, I'll try to go steal somebody else's for some more. You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense.
The thing is that, I mean, you just can't give up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you got to do the best that you can. You know, and then just as long as you're installing it with knowledge. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, they have to go get the understanding, and you can be there to give them understanding as well. But as long as you're filling their minds with knowledge, and you leave them with something to think about,
right?
You know, they'll come back.
Yeah,
they'll definitely come back, because usually most of the time they're the ones who ask the most questions.
Yes.
You know, so.
And I realize that too, because my little brother is 15, and as much as some of the things that happen, I'm just like, why are you acting this way? Yeah. It's more so I feel like a lot of times kids just need to know that we understand them, and I'm willing to meet you where your struggle is. Yeah, I'm willing to meet you halfway and understand where you are and things like that. So when it comes to your personal struggles, I'm going to start with you. We can agree that poetry helps us relieve stress and get over things that happen. So what does that look like for you? Like when you're going through and you just want to write it down, what does that remedy look like? Does it have to be real loud? Does it have to be really quiet? Like, what does that process look like for you?
Okay. That process for me, for those of you who don't know, I love tea.
Tea?
Like, I love tea. It has to be peppermint and lemon ginger with honey. Nothing else. Nothing else.
Tea? Like hot tea?
Yeah, girl, I hot tea.
All right. Hot tea.
Hot tea, and I need silence. I need silence because when I get ready to write, it's just everything hits me, and then one by one, it just goes down this tube, and that tube ends up to be my pen, and that goes onto my paper.
Hot tea, though.
And if it ain't piping hot, I don't want it.
Does it relax you in a way?
It does.
And you know, I don't like tea, so I'm just being biased because I don't like hot tea, guys. But if that helps, that's your process. Man. Who am I to judge? What does your process look like when you're stressed and your levels are too high? What does that writing process look like?
The first thing I say is this is about to be a dope song, like, cause I'll probably say I have more life in the studio than I am like on stage performing.
Yes.
Cause it's like in the studio, like I'll realize being in my zone. Like this whole project that I'm dropping, Journeys to Judah,
which we're definitely gonna get into for all the listeners.
Yeah, that project really gets into like my personal life, things that I went through, things that I'm going through. This because I'm not gonna sit here and say like this walk that I have is easy.
Right.
You know, everything is,
we don't want to perpetuate that at all.
Yeah, everything is challenging. You go through your trials and tribulation, but all I say is that I know, because it was one time I was so stressed that I wrote the song that day, went to the studio, recorded it, and dropped it the next day.
Yo, hold on, wait, savage mode. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Mode. Like, I'm gonna just go ahead and drop all this fire on you real quick.
Yeah, and it's on SoundCloud too. It's called Secret Pain.
Where can we follow you on SoundCloud? What is that?
So FlowSpazm Judah, which is on all social media. If you follow me on Instagram, at FlowSpazm Judah, you just click the link in my bio. It takes you straight to my SoundCloud, and you just scroll until you see Secret Pain, but
Yeah, so with the
that-
song Secret Pain,
yeah.
like how you said you wrote it, went to the studio,
Right.
recorded it,
Dropped
and
it the
dropped
next day.
Yeah.
What?
So that whole situation was just like, I felt like there was a point it was a point in my life where I felt like nobody really had my back. Like I was going through things by myself and nobody was really there, but just needed me when I was there, and it was just like I was just pretty much like crying silently.
Right.
It was like I'm screaming to the top of my lungs, but
But
nobody's
nobody
really
can
here.
hear me.
Yeah, so that's pretty much like what that was, and it's just like, I mean, if you listen to the song, you'll probably, be
Which
like,
I definitely
man,
gonna do that when I
you
leave.
probably like,
Definitely.
Definitely gonna
We're riding
take
home
that
listening to that.
on the ride home.
Yes.
Yeah, but it was. I mean, that's probably the most I probably was ever stressing and actually did that. But
Yeah.
my whole writing process is just, it's like, I don't know. I tend to be so quick to write when I'm like stressed or going through it. Then I can just sit down and be good and just be like,
What am I about to do?
right? You know what I'm saying? Because all my happy pieces would probably be so repetitive that, I mean, I guess like stress challenges me to like really dig deep to come up with some real dope stuff. But yeah, I always tell myself, yeah, this is about to be a banging song.
This is about to be a banging
Speaking
song.
into existence.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of performing, when you get ready to perform, do you have the jitters? Are you chilled? Like, do you have a mini heart attack? I mean,
Because I, like I said when I was saying earlier that I started motivational speaking when I was like 12. Like my first.
Well,
he's new to this.
my-
He's true to this.
Yeah.
He's not new to this.
So my first speech was at the nation's capital. It was for this youth program
excuse me.
called
What? Where's all this
That's
information
awesome,
coming
though.
from?
Like,
But that's
what?
amazing. But
It
go ahead,
is.
I'm listening.
Yeah, it was for. I used to be a part of it, and DJ, he was there too. Rockstar, he was a part of it too. We was a part of this.
Sidebar, y'all been friends since the womb, but go ahead.
Yeah, definitely,
Sandbox
man.
buddies.
Y'all brothers, I'm trying to
Oh,
tell
man.
you.
Trying to tell you, like, our if we both wrote a book or a movie together, we'd be good for life.
For real. Y'all have been friends since the womb. I'm pretty sure y'all got endless stories to tell.
Oh, I bet.
If y'all do, when y'all do write this movie, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm not saying I gotta be in it, but
Yeah, but yeah, like we used to be a part of this program called Boston Movement, which was like a youth leadership program, pretty
Right.
much, teaching youth how to be entrepreneurs at a young age.
right.
So that was like they used to train us real like good how to speak, in front of crowds and all that stuff. So like I've been doing it since I was 12, like probably. So I don't really get nervous when I feel like I'm about to go up next, or someone says, "Yeah, you're up next." I just,
Right.
I'll be really excited. For the first time in a long time, I would say when I had my feature at Pure,
Which you
I
murdered.
was
Murdered.
real nervous. Like I had a lot of my family, friends, and
No, and when your
Everybody
mom and
and
your dad
mother
came
was-
in there, I was like,
Yeah.
no.
And that was more so why I was nervous the most because but it was more I was happy. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's been a long time since my mom and dad seen me perform and
Yeah.
see me grow.
Right.
And it's for reasons. You know what I'm saying? It's not like
Yeah.
they don't want to be there. They want to be
Yeah.
at every show. But that's probably why that's probably the first time I've been nervous and had a lot of butterflies because I'm
Yeah.
like, yo, my mom, my
Yo,
dad,
my mom and my dad is in here. I gotta
just wanna
kill
make them
it.
proud,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I represent my parents. I make sure I represent my parents
Yeah.
well. So it's just, Bible tells us to honor our parents. So,
Very
when
true,
I'm
very
able to
true.
be on that stage and honor them in that way through my talent, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It was definitely
That's
a
amazing.
great feeling.
So, same question to you. Before you perform, are there jitters, heart attack, many? You know what I'm saying? How does that feel before you get on the stage?
Of course, you know I'm very dramatic in real life.
Yes.
I'm very dramatic in real life. So I'm always nervous, but I'm ready. Let's do it. Oh, but I'm so nervous. No, let's do it. No, let's do it. That's the
And,
battle that goes on in my head before I perform.
I don't never want to do it.
Yeah.
Look, I'm gonna be honest.
What?
To just keep it a buck with the people, I never ever be like super excited to get on the stage and pour out all my heart to the people I don't know.
Houseway.
Cause I don't know what it is, but I get super nervous. My palms get sweaty.
I remember one time I seen you. You was when you was getting ready, you was kind of like punching the air.
Yeah.
Tell me where you got that. Tell me where that came from.
So I'ma unofficially say I got it from the Poetic Rock Star, but it helps. It helps. I was outside punching the air and I was saying my poem. I was like, hey, this is kind of relaxing. This is actually helping me get ready for the show. But I did it probably like once or twice, and I haven't done it since. And every time before I perform, my hands get mad sweaty.
Yeah.
And I get butterflies, and I be like, you know what? I'm gonna just go home. I don't have the time. And then I tell Over, I be like, look, I love you, but I'm not gonna perform tonight. I can't do it. And I remember before my feature at Pure,
which was lit.
My God, can I talk about nervous? My dad and my grandma was in there, and then I had Sheldon playing the bass. I was just like,
yeah, that one was lit. You killed that.
You did.
Thanks, I appreciate it, guys. I was so nervous, but
and that was just like a great start to 2017. Like the whole squad.
Yeah, the whole squad
featured
back to back. And then Nuance came and killed last month. And then Jasmine Man.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's
Jasmine Man, for all of you who don't know.
She's amazing.
Pure Poetry DC will be hosting its 5-year anniversary June the 7th at Pure Lounge on U Street across the street from Cloak and Dagger, not Bus Boys. What's that over there? Ben's Chili Bowl is what I was trying to say. 5-year anniversary, June 7th, and Jasmine Man, the Jasmine Man, is going to be the featured artist at the show. And so all I'm saying is, if you want to get in there, you better get your tickets and get there early because, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's going to be pretty amazing. So before we close out, we want to thank WBGR for hosting us for the 3rd episode and not putting us out. I've had a great time. I want to thank you for standing in for the Poetic Rockstar, be the best little sister in the whole wide world.
Thank you for having me.
I want to thank our guest, my homie FlowSpazm Judah, for coming through.
Appreciate it.
And neither one of y'all knew this, but both of y'all closing the show out with a poem. Because, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm the hostess, and that's what I do. So, we're going to start with you.
Right. Okay.
Enunciate.
Yes, Mom. They say if you hold a black baby to your ear, you can hear police sirens. They say you can hear the bullets whispering their names. Well, I am tired of morning suns. I have not even birthed yet. I am tired of drowning in hashtags whenever I decide to dip a toe in a pool of life. See, I am tired of watching Jim Crow pick at priceless portraits of kings and queens, picking apart families, one father at a time, because everyone knows little black boys don't need a father figure. What they need is a personal officer. And they don't need to wear hoodies. They need to show their face, you know, for everyone's safety. Just like they don't need to be armed and dangerous to be considered armed and dangerous. I am tired of being tired. I want to know when we quit. I want to know when we let fear become the cream we lace our morning coffee with. I want to know, do you know that life is not about waiting for the storm to pass, but rather learning to dance in the rain? Black people, I need you to dance in the rain. I suggest you acquire a new pair of rain boots, and I'm not talking about just any kind. I'm talking about the kind that make you walk like you got 3,000 ancestors on your back. I'm talking about the kind that make you stand so tall you be super tall. But racism don't care about your height. It doesn't care about your life. Now I see it don't care about your kids, it don't care about your job, and it don't care about your wife. How is this right? It's not. So you might want to go and get those rain boots. And prepare to step in some puddles, because tonight, black people, you're going to have to dance in the rain. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Spice! Okay. Shout out your social media, and then we're going to move on to Flow.
You can follow me at Queen of My Own Future. All one word. That is on Instagram. That is also on Twitter. Also Destany, DESTANY _ the Ransom. That is also on Instagram and Twitter. Follow me.
Lit. And now for the homie.
Damn. I'm not a politician. I'm not about religion. I'm an Israelite. I ain't black no more. It's only just a color. It ain't facts no more. I'm talking to y'all like what's my mission? As I flip to Matthew 15:24, like this ain't simple. Talking to people with closed minds, and I'm just hoping that they see that my walk is just the fear of you as it's spoken in Proverbs 1:7. Because the fear of you is the beginner of knowledge. But see, walking in your pride in these end times is just only going in your time. So be humble. Hold up. Be humble. As I flip to 2 Chronicles 7:14, my people which are called by my name shall humble themselves. Hold up. Be humble. Be humble. But it seems like it's all about the fame. It's all about the money. It's all about the fortune. And see, Colossians 3:2 tells me to set my affections on things above and not on things of the earth. But see, it seems like toothpaste may go out of business because money is the only way I see bright smiles. Because in 1 Timothy 6:10 it says, the love of money is the root of all evil. And see, we have become distracted. We become so distracted that we haven't even realized that Revelation is turning into Genesis. And everything is starting to begin. But see, I just want my words to be my rapid fire like an AK-47. Better yet, I want my words to be Steph Curry with the shot. So when their body turn to clay, my words be the Thompson, and we can have a shootout. Better yet, I'm just trying to reach out to my black ops. You know, that's my call of duty. But we think U.S. is a game until it turns into Tekken, and then our first opponent is martial law. But see, we walking in our pride like we Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, you know, walking tall. But I just want to provide that Adam Sandler, you know, that waterboard. So I walk around with my Psalms 91 protection, along with my armor of Yah, you know, as it's spoken in Ephesians 6:11-24. But see, I only got one mission, and that's to reach out to the lost sheep, as it's spoken in Matthew 15:24. I'm not a politician. I'm not about religion. I'm an Israelite. I ain't black no more. That's only just a color. It ain't facts no more. That's Judah's mission.
Yes! Let's go in. Shout out to social media before we get out of here.
So my social media is at FlowSpazm Judah. That's Instagram. That's Facebook. That's Snapchat. All that. So yeah.
All right. And last thing before we get out of here, what y'all got coming up next? Where you gonna be next?
The next thing I got, I'm actually in the process of working on Journey to Judah. That's my project that should be coming out maybe end of this year or the beginning of next year.
Yes,
so that's I dropped Keep It Real last year. So Keep It Real is definitely in the link in my bio, so you can click it and listen to it. But Journey to Judah is what I'm working on next, and it's gonna be crazy.
I can't wait. What you got coming up?
All right, so I actually have a book that I'm working on.
Yes, book.
Titled The Ransom. I'm also launching my website, so we're looking for that to be done at the end of June.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Be on the lookout for that.
All right, and so I'm just going to shout out a couple of things. You can follow me on all social media at Lucky's Place, LUKISPLACE. Make sure you follow The Poet Life on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Thank you once again to WBGR for hosting us. We greatly appreciate it. And I want to thank all of you out there for listening to the Poet Life Live Radio Show. We had a great episode. We'll see you next week, where we'll be featuring the one and only Blackstone. Thanks, guys.
Is that you? Or do you put the passion in the pen? Every time you start to write, do you see the Most High? Every time you stay up nights, I'm like, ooh, what something's like. Yeah, I just got a question. Are you about this poet?